What is up, guys? Today in this video I'm playing a position 4 Spirit Breaker, and we are going to show you how we have really high kind of lane map control impact, even though we play in this game like what some people may call a spectator and not have the highest impact. So this is a competitive game. Just like in an amateur, whatever. You know, it's not DPC, but it's like a league. So Spirit Breaker's position 4 is not super meta right now, but you know, this team was so good that we had to pull out our best picks, our pocket picks, and the way that I really like to play Spirit Breaker position 4, and like I don't know if this is like the way that like you definitely should play every game, but it's the way I like to play it, is you just constantly shove out the lanes. So here I got a really late level 6. We didn't have the best lane. It didn't go terribly. But what I'm going to point out is not so much like fighting or anything. You know, I show up to most of our fights because you're SB, you charge in, blah, blah, blah. Oftentimes die for it. But it's really going to be the, you know, outside of the fights, this lane maintenance. And what Spirit Breaker does really well is he pushes out lanes in the side lanes that could be dangerous for other heroes on the team. We also have a Darkseer who is also very good at doing this with Iron Shell. This hero doesn't even need to be there. But this hero can just take dangerous farms. So you see that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just chilling in what you could call the dead lane, casually farming it up. And as a net result, I'm actually going to get a lot of net worth in this game by the end of it. And this is just something, and it's not like I don't spend time taking farm that like another hero on our team like definitely should have been taking. I spend most of my time this game taking like dangerous farm where my Lone Druid or my Tidehunter cores don't really want to put themselves out of position. So let's talk about it. Item build, face boots, move speed. These are pretty much necessary, the way you play the hero. You can see I'm charging back and forth across the map. Obviously, always looking to connect, like, the fights, when they happen. But we'll skip forward. Like I said, I don't want to focus on the fights this game. So we're clearing mid, and then we're dying. I didn't know the Slark could ag there. It's like he like rushed to Ags after Echo Saber. He does something with Echo Saber and Ags, and he had a pretty early time. I just didn't know he had it there, so I didn't think I was going to die. But I was attempting to clear the mid wave and defend the tower pressure. Okay, so a little fight happened mid. We had lost our Tidehunter already, so we made the call that we weren't going to defend it. So what do? I instantly go split push the top lane. I could have done the bottom lane too. Either one's fine. They're still like trying to go, and I'm looking to return, but again, we were kind of like waiting, so using my spare time to push out the lane. I will usually max charge last, get the bash first just so your charges do more damage, and then the bulldoze just makes it so you can team fight without just dying. You can see I pushed out this really dangerous lane, and you know, what are we going to do? I think we're going to charge the other side of the map here. Oh no, we're taking the Roshan, so I participate in the Roshan fight. We're just going to skip ahead here. I think they do get the better of us here in this fight. And we're dead. On respawn. Just go to clear the mid wave. Maybe my Lone Druid could have taken this farm. So, you know, maybe I did group my Lone Druid a little bit there. Actually, I think he didn't have a bear here. No, he didn't have a bear, so I didn't think it was a big deal, because it's like, it's going to take him a while to clear that farm, and it's more important that the lane gets like pushed out. You can see I'm going to push to your mid again. This is like pretty dangerous, right? They're all alive. We don't really know where they are. We just now see the Tusk bottom. So this is like pretty dangerous farm that I'm taking here that nobody else wants to like just come and stand here. And then again, we don't know where they are. They could all be top, ready to take the tower. So we're just going to take the dangerous farm. Some might call this spectating, as we are not, you know, I don't know, interacting with the other heroes. But this lane control is really imperative. So let's skip to a moment where we can talk and demonstrate exactly what happens with this lane control. Alright, so this next phase of Dota is kind of where I will look to demonstrate what I was talking about. So here, We kind of started a bad fight mid, and it led us to losing a couple heroes, our lone druid. Very unfortunate, right? And we lose our mid tier 2 off of this, so they do get a tier 2. And this is where, you know, we're 5k behind, they have Aegis, and we're going to kind of look to dodge and split the map at this point. So you can see I'm up here taking the dangerous farm. Well, it's not, like, dangerous because they were all mid, but we're, like, now in the process of basically constantly playing to split them up. So our bottom lane is already really pushed in. I pushed in our top lane a lot. They just pushed in mid, obviously. And I take this opportunity to charge bottom. The Razor comes down here to clean it up because somebody had to on their team, right? So the rest of their team pushing top in now because they had responded to the top pressure and are now pressuring the tower. The Razor had responded to the bottom pressure, so one, he's not with their team. And two, we are back down here immediately after he left to push this in again. They are reacting to some of our mid pressure now, and now top is shoving in again. So they have stopped their top push, right? They're the team with Aegis DP ulti, right? Wouldn't they love to just barrel down these lanes and like take all of our towers and take a racks? Like that's what they want to do, right? They want to progress the game and take buildings. And instead they're chasing us around. We barely get out with some TPs from bottom, so their whole team, while they have Aegis and DP ulti up, they're all in their bottom jungle, not pressuring any buildings. So this is what being a spectator looks like, some might say. But we are actually having a very big impact shoving out the lanes. And it's like a dodge game. This is just like kind of how Dota works when you're behind. You want to split them up, apply pressure where they're not, and force them to react to what you're doing, even though they are the ones that are ahead, and it could, in theory, win a fight. So you can see they have no creeps bottoms. They're all in their jungle. Nobody ended up pushing this back out on their team. So they started moving back towards mid, responding to some of our mid pressure, while their Slark TP top to respond to the top pressure. So they're all split up right now. All their lanes are really bad, and they're looking for a fight, which, like, obviously they want to take and would win if we gave it to them. But we're just not giving them the fight they want. So you can see I'm, again, charging bottom, keeping the lanes pushed in really far. And it's like, to combat this style of Dota, they have to split up. Like, they can't stay together and control 3 lanes at once, or even 2 lanes. You have to be able to split up. And I think that they were just, you know, because it's like a coordinated lobby, and like more often people are like looking to make plays in a coordinated way than in a pub. Maybe it's a little harder in this environment. Like in a pub environment where your team's less coordinated anyways, people are usually fine with taking it slow, taking the game slow, and fixing the lanes. Or maybe they're just fixing the lanes because there's something better to do because your team's less coordinated and not willing to group up and make a play as often. So you can see they have gone and crazily chased us looking for pickoffs, or like looking for a fight, basically. We did lose our CM. We lost our CM a lot this game. But look at their lanes. Top lane pushed in towards them. Mid lane is pushing in towards us. That's something we could fix. But bot lane, again, pushing in towards them. They've already taken some damage on their tier 3 here. And they are not in a position to address their lanes. So I get a charge off on these creeps mid. I do fix the mid lane. And all of a sudden, they have... They're aggressively positioned. They kill the CM. And like, look at their lanes. Pushed in. No wave. Pushed in. So this is the impact of constantly split pushing. And this is kind of what you should do when you're behind. Spiritbreaker is one of the best heroes in the game at it. So... if, you know, unless they have really good catch for Spiritbreaker, it's hard for them to prevent this. And what I do here is I just charge the creeps. I'm just trying to kill the creeps here. We do get a really good fight off like a Ravage, I think. Or we end up getting a good trade. Yeah, they lose several heroes, including their carry. And it was just hard for them to take a good fight. We had been kiting them around, and all of a sudden all of our abilities were up, and they overextended a little bit in the mid. I think their Aegis had timed out, yes? Let's just double check that. I think... Oh no, so the Slark has the Aegis here, and it just times out as this fight is happening. So we successfully kited this team around for the entire Aegis duration, and then end up getting a really good fight here. while their Aegis runs out, and their carry ends up dying. And you can see their net worth lead, not too high. And let's skip ahead to some additional places where we can see the impact of this pushing out lanes all the time. Here again, their Death Prophet is forced to react to this top pressure. We're about to get some heavy pressure bottom from the Darkseer. So they're all split up right now, right? Constantly splitting them up. And just being really annoying to them. Being very annoying to them. Here, I'm just playing it safe because I kind of have a read that there are like a bunch of heroes up here, but then I push this lane out. I see 2 heroes showing mid, so I push this top lane out again. And they do group up and take a 5-man fight mid. Our Tidehunter is very tanky though, and I think this does not work out for them. Kind of a long, drawn-out fight that we get the better of. So we've successfully kited them out more, and they're kind of being forced in these awkward fights while their lanes are like not good. We have the ability to react to what they're doing. We're kind of grouped up with ourselves, so we're not as worried. And I think our strategy of having this really tanky, hard-to-kill Tidehunter being the hero they're going on is like obviously just working out for us. So our drafter, who was this Tidehunter, was the genius that put this together. But you can see how this lane strategy is working out, and the net worth is now swinging in our favor. And what are we doing when the fight's over is cleaning up lanes again, right? When they respawn, make it so all their lanes are bad. Here again, we're charging across the map, constantly pushing in these lanes for them. We actually catch out their Slark mid and get a second kill. And so what do? I just keep playing the lanes. You can see there's some friendly all chat. They have been giving us some grief for our draft, which, you know, obviously ended up working out pretty good as we go on to win this game. Yeah, lots of all chatting. But we pick up the Razor, and you can see they're kind of like, they're stuck dealing with their waves, and I think they were a little tilted because they stomped us game 1, and this is game 3, so we came back and won game 2, and now we're winning game 3, and I think they are a little tilted at this point. Or maybe they would argue they're not tilted, who knows. But our strategy of splitting them up and not giving them the fights that they want to take and delaying the game has led to now we are way high in net worth. So this is the last moment that I wanted to talk about, is we are just fixing our lanes here, and their off lane, or their mid DP actually is the one who called my playstyle the Spectator to the games. But I just want to point out that my spectating has actually put me at a higher net worth than their mid. This is their mid Death Prophet calling me a Spectator. But I believe that what I was doing was having pretty high impact, and we did go on to win this game. So, you know, this guy's good. He's, you know, he's like rank 800, I think. Or no, this guy's rank 700. I actually don't know this guy's MMR. It's probably still pretty high. But you can see some friendly all chat going on. But, you know, he was criticizing this playstyle, but I feel like that's why I needed to make this video, so that he and others could see, you know, this style of split pushing constantly is actually a very good strategy, especially against their very death bally lineup, right? Like, they have a DP Razor and a Winter Wyvern. Like, they would love for 5-man Dota to happen and get all their team fight spells off, you know, on their terms when they have the Aegis, blah, blah, blah. But with our split up style, you know, that some call spectating, we were able to draw this game out, get the farm we needed, you know, pass their mid laner in farm. I actually at some point become the second highest net worth hero. Here it is. So we were 38 minutes in the game. I'm the second highest net worth game as the position 4, ahead of their carry even. So, you know, hopefully you guys learned a lot from this video. If not, hopefully you thought it was enjoyable anyways. You know, I had a good time playing this series. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.